out shortly. We've an FA Cup winners only policy in the studio tonight. And I don't know who's making that noise, but so Alan Shearer is on the commentary gantry alongside Steve Bauer. Alan, it's toasty in this studio. It's a bit noisy as well. I don't know if somebody's sending something on someone's phone. I think it's a joke. I don't know whether you heard it at home, but...
People saying it's the best prank of all time. Where's my Oscar?
We've an FA Cup winners only policy in the studio tonight. And I don't know who's making that noise.
Sneaking into Molineux was really easy. We just sort of walked in behind like a camera crew sort of went in, or one camera crew person. We had a lot of cameras on him. We see him, we sort of tried to catch up with him and just sort of walked in. If you just sort of walk straight in, yep, I know what I'm doing, I'm meant to be here. You blend straight in. Here we are at the Wolves Stadium. It's like some French name, but I don't know who it is. Here's the BBC studio for the FA Cup. FA Cup replay with the Liverpool versus Wolves. This is the FA Cup. Won't really get in their way. We had the phone because that was their plan all along. We was going to put it underneath the chair, but we thought, you know what, they could move it about, it could fall, someone could find it. Same with the table in the middle. We wanted to do it there because it would have been really awkward for them to sort that out. And we thought, you know what, let's put it on the set. We went behind the set and it's right up in the top corner. We grabbed it, put it right in the top corner, and it's like, yeah, that's the perfect spot.
Season up here, Gary.
What do you see in this game tonight, Alan? How do you see it going?
Well, Wolves will feel very hard done by because they felt they scored a legitimate goal and they should have been through to the next round. They'll want to try and rectify that tonight. He's put a similar team out to that game, a couple of changes from that first game. So they'll be confident. They'll go at Liverpool. They know that even though Liverpool have changed their team around, confidence in the football club at Liverpool is not great. So I think Wolves will go after them.
Are you surprised at the changes Klopp's made, Alan, as well as Danny?
Yeah, I am. I'm really surprised because as a player, you want to put things right. They had a terrible game at the weekend. Those players that played will know that. They would have wanted to get out this evening and change that. But he's changed it. He's put some youngsters in there. It's a chance. He needed some energy. And they've got to bring energy to this team and to that football club because that's the one thing they've been missing, certainly at the weekend anyway.
OK, Alan, keep warm up there as much as you can. Let's hear from both managers who've been talking to Kelly Summers.
There was security walking, not security, like Wolves people walking about, TV people walking about, but no one knows who anyone else is. Like the Wolves people know who they are. TV people might not even know who each other is, but we just blend in and no one notices.
You know, he's playing a lot more attacking. You know, you think about, you know, under Nunes, the reason why Nunes left because he didn't play attacking football. But this man's come to life for him. I think Podence has been absolutely outstanding for him since he's come in. And, you know, as a manager myself, you hope when you go into a new club, you do get a new bounce back, you know what I mean, new ideas, new different standards. And it seems to be working at the moment.
And the thing is, we don't know if this is going to work. We don't know if anyone's found it. And we had someone recording from outside that when we was ringing it, it started to ring, but it wasn't coming through the TV because of the delay. And I was like, it's ringing. I don't know, about 3 rings. And then I hear it, and I was like, is that coming from the TV? It took like a quick second. It's like, oh my God, it's working.
With an FA Cup winners only policy in the studio. He's making that noise, but... That's me!
Like a little bit because they were a bit lucky at Everton. Leon Bailey missed the last-minute chance at Villa, and they did lose to Forest in the League Cup. So.
I mean, he's managed some big clubs, this guy. Obviously, he had the old scandal around when he was at the Spanish manager. He announced that he was going to Real Madrid.
I thought it's only going to ring like one's time, and they're going to just grab it, and we just kept ringing it, and ringing it, and ringing it, and it just would not stop. It must have done it about 10 times.
He's going to stay focused on what he wants.
And I think it's quite fortunate in a way for Wolves because they actually went for Michael Beale, and I went to Lopetegui first. Yeah. Because of personal reasons, he didn't take the job, but next went for Michael Beale. Yeah. He actually turned it down, so it's kind of fell in Wolves' lap, to be honest.
You came in at Reading, didn't you?
We've done this before. We've done it at like Fulham before, and we stuck it underneath. This is during COVID lockdown. We went up there, got in, stuck it under the table in the BT Sport, and when we rang it, it was really quiet. It didn't come through the TV. So we thought, yeah, let's get a really loud one. I just done my research. It's a bit hard because when you're looking for the English ones, it just comes up English phones. So I looked in deep, looked on, I don't know, it was Alibaba or AliExpress, and found this beauty.
We got an embargo at our club, so it's hard to build and hard to bring in other players. But if you look at Lopetegui's done, he's brought some really good top-class players. You know, they're playing, as Danny Murphy said, they're playing some really good attacking football. And it's always hard to keep doing it year after year after year, as we're seeing with Liverpool at the moment. You know, it's hard to keep doing it.
This claims to be one of the loudest phones in the world. Well, yesterday it really was.
I think this is the 13th or 14th different back four we're seeing tonight.
Well, when you were at Manchester United, you were there. There were serial winners, weren't they? How difficult is it, and what is the secret to keeping that consistency at that high level?
This phone actually costs like $599. No, I'm joking. It costs like £20. £20 from China. I love Gary Lineker, man. What a bloke. Yeah, he kept making jokes all the way through it.
Will you stop making those noises, Danny?
It's not me.
It's definitely.
They've been more attacking Wolves, actually.
When if you ever pull a prank like that at the beginning of the show again, when you're not sitting in the studio, you're done. We're done, okay?
You know that was Murphy's fault, not mine.
Not at all.
He kept having. He's a really nice dude. He's never even been booked as a footballer. So yeah, I respect him. I'm so glad we've done him. Danny Murphy, though. Oh.
What's missing this season, Danny?
I think the beginning of the season there was some complacency set in. A lot of the players haven't had any competition for their places for a long time. I think they were tired a little bit from the season before, played in every game available the season before. Mental disappointment of missing out on Champions League and the league to City.
But Danny Murphy's right. You know, a lot of these players have been here for a long, long time, 4 or 5 years.
Wasn't the most exciting game we've ever seen, especially after the start we had. I meant on the pitch.
It's been an experience, Gary, tonight. Let's say that. It has been an experience.
It's certainly been. It was the first in many ways.
Don't invite me again, please.
Gary Lineker, thanks very much for joining us. You know, look, was the Wolves Liverpool game just too boring? It wasn't exciting. They had to add to the excitement.
It was all before the game, but if you'd have told me this morning that tonight I'd be on Newsnight talking about a porn scandal, I'd have been terrified. But thankfully it was just something that happened in the studio. I mean, it was when it started, it did recognise that sound. I think we've all been done with that. When you open up a WhatsApp or something and somebody sent you it as a trick on a train, or when you're busy in people's company. But it was quite difficult to cope with during the pre-match build-ups. And then I thought maybe it had gone to one of the pundits' phones. And then I thought, no, it's too loud. It sounds like it's... Then I obviously worked out it was a prank.
Yes, but it's hard because, you know, when we watched it on television, we couldn't tell just how loud it was. But was it really kind of mega loud?
It was so loud I couldn't hear anything that either Danny Murphy, Paul Ince, or even when I spoke to Alan Shearer, hardly hear what they said when the thing was going off. But and it was then a decision, because we've got like 5 minutes more to go. Is it going to stop? And then every time we went to like a piece of VT, it stopped. So then I'm figuring this is being done by somebody watching the television, waiting until we come on. And the game. But it was. I have to say, I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I know the BBC have issued some sort of apology. I know not why. I don't think we've certainly got nothing to apologise for.
No, I'm sure you've got nothing to apologise for. But I suppose the BBC might feel that people are offended. And also, actually, you know, I suppose what you could say is it could have been something a little more dangerous in the studio. However, is it the most unusual special effect you've ever had to deal with?
I would say unquestionably so. It was definitely, and it was quite hard to just carry on the pre-match build-up and take it seriously when this was going on.
Was it not adding to your pre-match build-up?
Well, it added to the whole game, actually. I don't think anyone cared.
The game wasn't that great, was it?
Special. No, I mean, we had a screamer of a goal, which was kind of the tone of the whole show, I suppose, in some ways.
Well, maybe there'll have to be a rematch so that you can do it all over again.
No, I think, on a serious note, the only thing that I think the authorities are worried about is that someone can plan. then
think the line
that
speed-
is a security
Yes,
issue
the
for
security.
obvious reasons.
There is
they could do something else.
There's certainly a security
Yeah,
issue,
I'm sorry about that.
but you probably had more. You probably gave you more laughs in match of the day from between Wolves and Liverpool than you might otherwise have had.
Absolutely, it was. I think. I mean, as Franks go, it was a good one, and for credit to them, it was funny. I thought.
Thanks very much for joining us, Gary. Thanks.
Great for the club, and I'm away from the wife, so it's even better.
She'll kill you for that.
Her words. It wasn't you and the wife then behind there earlier on.
It wasn't me, that's for sure. Something else was behind there.
So that's it. Liverpool win it with a Harvey Wall ball banger.